Hamstring rehab, done right. If you think about principles of rehab, and like everyone says, early movement, it's all well and good, but when you're strong, early movement has to be a bit more than just rudimentary bodyweight movements. If you can squat 9 plates, squatting 3 plates is rehab. That's not intense exercise for you. So we're gonna do 10 by 10 squats, 10 by 10 18-inch pulls, and then maybe some hamstring curls, something like that, see how it plays out. But that's the rehab day. A lot of squatting, a lot of deadlifting. We'll see how we go.
You were mentioning earlier that you haven't really taken much time off from the gym since the Shah.
No.
Why don't you take much time out of the gym?
What else am I gonna do? Train. I love training. Simple as that. Whether it's good for me, whether it's too much, I love to get in here. And it hasn't been hard work per se, but it's a great mental reprieve from everything else going on. So this is still my mental health breaks for the day. A lot of the times, if you're pushing loads too much in rehab, half the time it's not even the injury itself that becomes a problem. It's more so the downfall of changing your movement to avoid that injury. Now you become vulnerable. You're overloading different parts of your body. You never fully get back the strength of what you had before in the injured tissue, and then snowball. So the end here will not be a strength end, it'll be a technique end. When like I'm not firing properly, I'm not sitting properly, all that type of stuff. Because I've had a thing for a while where like I tend to hike my left hip. I get really tight up on my left side. So I've already started to try to battle that on my right, and I just have to do it twice as much. Ooh, little fart. That was great. That was much smoother than I thought it'd be.
You're an
No
animal.
problemo. I actually feel my right hip more than I feel my left hamstring.
Also, in this YouTube video, we haven't shown your hamstring yet. Show me that bad boy. That is nice.
Oh, I'm gonna do 5s here. My erectors are erected to hell. Wow. Wow, that's strong. I'm pumped to the max. We'll feel feel like Tom Stolman's erector. It's got put on my back. If you ever get the chance, and don't do it without permission, if you ever see Tom and you put your fucking hand on his back, you get like a palm full of erector. It's the most unusual thing ever. I'm very envious.
As a PT, what is one of the biggest misconceptions you hear about on a regular basis about rehab?
If one part of your body is injured, you got to be careful with the whole thing. Like, classic one, and like you can take this logic to the extreme, but someone in a wheelchair can fall out of the wheelchair, like just like you and I can fall into the ground. It's not that big of a deal. Like, pick them up and get them out of the. And the thing is, if they behave fragile for a long time, then they're going to become fragile to the point where they can't fall out of the wheelchair. And that same logic can be applied to any injury. Okay, say my hamstring was off the bone, I needed surgery, lock this leg up, it's got to be straight. Well, why can't I max bench press with my feet up? Why can't you get your upper body as strong as possible? A lot of people, they think rehab exists in a silo, and they say, well, I'm in a rehab phase. Like, unless your entire body is destroyed, there's no sense for a rehab phase. You can rehab an area while building strength in other areas, but there's always a way to plot ahead. There's always a way to progress. There's always a way to push forward. And even when you're injured, you're not as fragile as you think. A la deadlifting and squatting on a torn hamstring. Mild tear. In context, not a problem. Doesn't hurt. Will help blood flow. Will help me regain those movement patterns. So it's just got to be done. And yeah, I think that would be top of the list.
Reiterate what you were saying about the lifters. You said that you liked doing elevated deadlifts and lifters.
Unpopular opinion. If you elevate your feet, your center of mass is naturally going to shift slightly forward on your foot. If it does, it means that that's a little bit of space that you don't have to bring the bar back into you. Meaning that you can sit your torso a little bit higher, a little bit easier to get your shoulders stacked over the bar. So it's a working biomechanical hypothesis at the moment. Not necessarily advice, but something I'm going to play with a little bit. That felt better than 5. Onwards.
What are we working up to?
Just till it's had enough. Either 7 or 8.
All right.
That's it. Rehab. 10 by 10 squats, 5 by 10 deadlifts, up to 780. Now, context is important. Working up to a moderate intensity 1 week after a grade 1 tear, not a big deal. Remember that for your training. You're not as fragile as you think. So long as you're doing stuff that doesn't hurt, you can continue to push on. Thank you very much. Lift and be kind. Merchant link in the description. I'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys.